Good day, my name is Don Morton, and this is my SIP refocusing video for Wise Grocer in class 408 at UAT. Um, so I decided to refocus my efforts on this app into what I want to be the more useful part of it, which is reminders and notifications of when your products that you bought are expiring, such as milk, bread, eggs, whatever it is you have that expires. Part of the reason I readjusted this is because I don't think I have the skills to make a full smart groceryless app by myself, and the other reason is because I found a newer app that just hit the market a few weeks ago or a few months ago that basically did the whole smart groceryless thing by itself. Which the smart groceryless concept is to look at the items you buy overall over a month, and then basically after a couple uses of it, combine your grocery list into one major thing, one big thing. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to refocus my efforts on in this app to make it about just reminding people, or reminding myself mostly, about when I need to buy milk, how long I should have until it's there. So I didn't really have the opportunity. I haven't really had the opportunity to focus on the coding part of it yet. I'm using Xamarin as my primary development platform, and that goes with XML and C Sharp. And I thought it would be easier, but it's seeming to be harder to actually learn and see what's going on with it and how to use it. Another development issue I'll probably run into is I don't have access to a Mac, so this will probably be just an Android app, because to make something in iOS, you have to have access to a Mac to be able to program on it, and I don't have access to a Mac myself. But something that I did make progress on, and I designed a basic flowchart for how I want a user to go across and use this app. So basically, you have your app start, right? When you launch the app, it's going to check to see if the user's already logged in, and if it's not, it'll go into a login screen, and then go back to your main screen after they log in. The home page is where you basically do everything like every other app, right? So you can close the app, you can add new items, you can select items from a list, or you can display settings. So if you want to, when you first start the app, you're going to have to add new items. So you'll click on the Add New Item button, and then it'll bring you into a screen where it'll actually ask you to put in information for the item, expiration date, what type of item it is, and so on and so forth. And then it'll save it to a database, and then go back to the home page when you're done editing it. And then for the select item, you can choose the item on the list, and then it will allow you to edit information. So say you bought milk within the week, you select it, edit the information from milk, say, okay, I bought milk now, expiration date is this, and it'll set up notifications for that day to say when to go buy it again. And then when you finish editing that stuff, it goes right back to the home page. Over here we have the settings screen, which will display settings, and then you can change the desired settings. I haven't actually gotten fully locked down what settings I want to be able to have the user change, but we'll get more into that later. So let's go look at the wireframe. And I spent a lot of time, this is what I really spent most of the project on currently for this past couple weeks, is to figure out exactly how I want the UI to kind of look and how I want them to navigate through it. Because talking to some professional developers I know, this is the hardest part for figuring it out. The back end stuff is a little bit easier once you get working on it. It's figuring out where you want the buttons to go and how you want them to work is apparently one of the bigger problems. But I used balsamic wireframes, actually, sorry for butchering that, to create the wireframe, and we'll run through that real quick. I'm going to go through this as a review. So this will be the main screen that a user will see whenever they launch the app. They'll have a list of their items right here, and then a list of the dates of when they should buy them. This is not the final format. I might have like so many days remaining until you should buy this or whatever. I haven't decided exactly how that is, but this is basically what it'll be. Up the top, we'll have two main buttons, and then one button right here will be just where Wise Grocer is. You click on it, and it'll go back to this main screen. This one over here will be our settings. As I said, I haven't really figured out exactly what settings I want, but this will be kind of the basic ones, right? So push notifications is one thing I do want to have in here, so it'll send up to your phone saying you need to buy milk in 3 days, and then you say okay, and then acknowledge it. Either buy milk or don't buy milk. Location, maybe something I'll put in later for later parts of the app, or if I can figure it out, to look at for prices and stuff like that in local areas. Do a Google search for milk and see how or what stores have the cheapest milk if you want to go that route. Date and time is something I always like to have in there, so you can manually set the date and time on the app if you wanted to. But the basic app will just pull your date and time from your phone, so nothing will change there. And then if you hit the button here, it goes back to your main page. This one right here will be a slide menu, which come up for our main interaction with most of the app. We have the user information right here, so this will be a profile picture if they want to put a profile picture. It'll just be a basic user picture like this with a username or email, whichever one they choose to display. So if we click on the Add Item button, it'll bring us to this screen, which is basically where you put in your item name. You'll put in your expiration date and click on the Add Item. I'm also probably going to think about putting in a functionality where you can take a picture of the item, so you have a personal picture of it for whatever you want, so you can remember the product you bought last time if that's a problem for you or whatever. And the last part of this little functionality would be if you start typing in an item you've already bought and already has a tracker for it. Say you forgot that you entered eggs in there a few weeks ago, and you type in eggs, it'll say, hey, it'll pop up a notification, hey, eggs are already in here. Your expiration date is this for this one. This is when you should buy them. Yeah, so that's basically the add item function. Not too terribly involved on it. Nothing yet that'll be too hard. So the next menu item right here is the select item, which is basically how you edit items. So you come in here, you can search for your item, so it'll filter out the ones you want to look for. You can search by date or name if you remember either of those. Or easier thing would be name, but if you want to search by date, you could. You click on the item, and it'll come into this. It'll pop up. This window will pop up, which will be basically information about the item, a picture of the item, and then your new purchase date with the expiration date down here, where you add in. And you hit edit item, and it'll close this window and go back to the this item select screen. Actually, it'll go back to item select screen, so you keep editing more items. The last little function down here is the login logout. So the user just basic login logout of the user function. So this is the login screen, and then over here is what the login logout screen looks like. So these are the basic updates I've made to the app so far, and how I want to go about moving through this. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, you can email me my school email, which is donmarto@uat.edu, or my personal email is probably a better way to contact me. And that is mortondw024@gmail.com. I'm also available on Teams most of the time. So thank you for watching and considering this SIP.